New and a new animator is doing all this.
Yes. So I gave a talk at the Foothill College, and her company was. So what I did is show the population growth, and then because the students I'm talking mostly to students, I put them in. I'm Jonatantrent. I'm the lead scientist on a project called Omega for NASA Ames Research Center. The project started in 2008, and it's an ongoing project which includes the Omega Global Initiative.
What is algae? And you said it's a source of fossil fuel. Could you explain?
So what is algae? Algae is a very broad term that includes thousands of different types of organisms. The algae that we're focused on are tiny one-cell organisms living as individual cells in every environment that we've ever looked. I mean, so there are marine algae, there are freshwater algae, there are snow algae, there are soil algae, and these are organisms that are like plants. They grow on sunlight and CO2 and water, and they don't need any source of other food, and they produce big biomass. So algae are microscopic, and then we have macroscopic algae, which are big seaweed-like plants that are good to eat. But the microalgae are the fastest growing plants on the planet. And the reason they're interesting is because, like us, they store fat.
You have started an initiation movement, Omega Project movement. What is it about?
Yes, okay. Well, so it's very important, and I'm sure you know, that we find a replacement for fossil fuel. This is imperative. It's hard to say all the reasons. I thought when I invented the Omega system as this sort of life support system for spaceship Earth, that this is really the solution because it's an integrated system. It involves using a waste stream to make fuel, liquid fuel, to make solar energy, to make a source of food from an aquaculture joint venture with the Omega system floating offshore, and on and on. And this is described now on the internet, both in my TED Talk as well as in publications. But then I realized, how can we get this going in the world? How can we make this into an international effort? Not just as a business for one person or another person, but something that takes seed around the world to address these major problems. And I realized that the way to do this is to basically empower local people to do it. Not to swoop in as an outside company and build the system for somebody else, but to show people that this location in Korea is ideal. This place in China is great. This place in Greece, in the Mediterranean, and so on around the world. These are all really good locations. They have all the right features for doing a floating bioreactor system for growing microalgae. And then do a life cycle analysis. That is to say, these are all the resources you have to put in, and this is what you get out. And by doing this type of detailed analysis through the Omega Global Initiative, with students mostly being in charge, because the student generation is the one that's going to really have to see this transition through, that initiative would empower people around the world. And some people will take on the Omega Challenge because they want to make a bunch of money, others because they see this as an environmental cause or some other reason. Whatever their motivation, doesn't matter. The Omega Global Initiative will be an open source resource for anybody to use. And we'll put it up on the internet through a website that we're developing in conjunction with a group at Stanford. The website is called collaborate.org, and there'll be a portal called the Omega Global Initiative. That's what it's about. It's about empowering people and creating local jobs, providing fuel and food and clean water.
Thank you very much.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.